Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. I have a large stack. I'm getting, I think only 3 books are on my pull list for next week, so I'm going to have to figure out something to do then. But Northern Blood, issue 2 is where we're going to start. I already have issue 3 because from what I hear, there was an issue with the printer, and issue 3 was at a new printer, whereas issue 2 is at, well, a printer that's no longer being used. So I have issue 2 of Northern Blood. This is the Viking zombies story versus Nazis. It's awesome. It's a hell of a lot of fun. This is the art, obviously. I think the art's great. Look at that guy. Damn. That's awesome. So there are a group. They're trying to survive. There are Nazis that are plundering. You've got this guy. You know he's bad, not just because he's a Nazi, but because he has a facial scar. Look at this. Awesome. This is just a heck of a lot of fun. I hope you try it. I hope your comic shop is able to get a copy of it. And I hear, this is also what I hear, that this team is already working on a volume 2 for the series, so this should continue after the initial 4 issues. I don't know what else to say, except, once again, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Batman and Joker Deadly Duo issue 7, this is the final issue. There is a fight that started last issue between these two. There's a comment here about breaking his jaw, and yet he immediately starts talking. I'm like, really? Really? Anyway. Last issue, there was a key that was around Batman's neck. You can still see it there. We find out what the deal with that was. And get this great 3D movie shot of teeth flying at us. And there's still a lady that was the villain. She's there. This is... It's a strange ending because it seems to set itself up for a sequel, except knowing how many years it took Silvestri to put this out, I don't know, like, if or when a sequel would actually happen. I don't know. It's a little strange. But it does end, I think, pretty well. I haven't been the hugest fan of this series. I was buying this primarily because of the art, not the story. But it does end well. I can generally recommend it if this is something that you are interested in. It ends well, as I've said. It just also leaves itself open for more that I'm not sure is ever going to come. It's sort of like modern movies that don't do well at the box office. I don't know. Up next we have Shazam issue 1, and I grabbed this mostly because I've really been enjoying what Wade and Maura have been doing on World's Finest. I praise Dan Mora every opportunity that I get, but this is a great first issue. You have T-Rexes drinking tea, which is strange, but also hilarious. In essence, what's happening here is Billy as Shazam is spending a bunch of time at the Rock of Eternity. He's turning it into his own bat cave. I don't know why everything is giant. I understand why the teacup is giant, but everything seems to be giant. There's a giant bowling alley and bowling ball I don't get. But anyway, he is doing childish things in the Rock of Eternity. He is eating a bunch of food. He's playing video games. As I said, he's making his own bat cave with trinkets, souvenirs from past adventures, and the gods are displeased. And there's a great moment at the end of this that I think serves as a fantastic hook. Let me show you this, because I know there's a page coming up. I mean, just look at this. That's amazing. So it's well written, the story is interesting, the art is phenomenal, and I recommend it if you are interested in Shazam, or if you have never read Shazam and are just, well, I guess I'm repeating myself. But, yes, if you have any interest, grab this, give it a try. I very much enjoyed it. Adventures of Superman, John Kent, issue 3. Now, the first 2 issues were each in different universes. I thought maybe the entire 6 issues were going to would get a different universe each issue. I'm now wondering if we're going to stick with Injustice for a bit longer. Certainly, at least one more issue based on how this one ends. But here we have John in the Injustice universe. Having prior Injustice knowledge would be a huge benefit. There is some degree of explanation as far as what has gone on, the state of things, but certainly as far as the Bat family is concerned and why Damian would have the ability to punch Batman through a wall, it would help if you had some prior knowledge. This is very well done. I'm enjoying this series. I think John is the perfect person to visit the Injustice universe. I mean, there's such a fundamental clash of mindsets as far as John and Injustice as an entire planet. It's that contrast is monumental, and it makes for a great story. So this I do recommend. I have been enjoying this series. I recommend it, and I very much look forward to seeing where this goes. But these two together, whew, it's good stuff. It's really good. Fuck This Place issue 8. When I learned that this series was ending with issue 10, I was a little saddened. I was very much enjoying this. I was a big fan of it, and I thought it could go on for much longer. Now I sort of see the intent. Last issue, 2 of the characters jumped into a portal and wound up somewhere else. It was unclear where. We found out kind of why. But this, holy cow, it is clearly heading towards a conclusion. I have no idea what they're going to do for 2 more issues, but it should be action-packed, and I am ready. I'm strapped in. I want them right now. I love this series. It's phenomenal. The characters are amazing. The story is engaging. It's just incredibly well done, and I am a huge fan. Highest possible recommendation for I Hate This Place. Batman 900 or 135, depending on how you're counting. I've been wondering what to do with this book for a while, for at least a few issues. I enjoyed the first arc of Failsafe quite a bit. It did get ridiculous, and the ending was not that great, but I did enjoy Failsafe. This, with Batman on a world where Bruce Wayne is already dead, is not great, I don't think. And this only compounds how not great that is. As far as the Red Mask and what he's trying to do and what he actually does is, I think, very stupid. I still kind of want to see what happens once Bruce is back in Gotham. Supposedly there's some planned co-writer Batman Catwoman stuff upcoming, and I'm like mildly curious, but also it's 2 arcs now that I don't think have ended well. One arc that I didn't enjoy any part of, and one that I did enjoy. And I feel like I should drop it. I kind of want to see where it goes, but I don't know. I'll get at least 1 more issue. I just, overall, have not been enjoying this, and it's coasting on the fumes of Failsafe for me. The art's great, though. I mean, the art is spectacular. And it does resolve both the Alfred issue that I was questioning from a couple of issues ago, and what happens to his hand, which I think is, I don't want to say anything because it would be spoilers, but I have comments about his hand. Anyway, I don't recommend it. Astrobots issue 1. This isn't one that I was planning to get, but there was a conversation happening at my comic shop between two people that were both praising it, and I was surprised enough to throw the first issue into my pile. There is, let me show it, a robot wearing clothes. I think the art is amazing in this. The art is phenomenal. One of the things that I question, though, is just how many ellipses you can put in one book. It's weird to see this many ellipses at all. I feel like this is a record of some kind. But I find it even more strange that they're all robots pausing this much while talking. It's strange. I find it very strange. Anyway. Astrobots I was familiar with from a couple of years ago when they were making toys. You can see the toys here at the back. This is one of the main characters. I find it also strange. There's at least 5 of the robots that have names that start with A. So there is Apollo, Atlas, Argus. There's also Athena and Artemis, I think, based on toys that I just looked up on Big Bad Toy Store. And already I can't remember the names. But I tend to have problems. So if there's a conversation happening and two people both have A names, I'm like, which one is, I just have trouble keeping track of names that are too similar. Anyway, so the story here is there's a advance ship, I guess, a team. There's basically a city full of robots that have prepared a planet for humans that are about to arrive, and there's definitely some internal robot-on-robot conflict. It's strange, I find. Part of the conversation that was happening at the comic shop was the question, and I couldn't see from where I was, but there was a conversation happening about which one of these two robots is Megatron and which is the Optimus Prime equivalent. I have my own opinion, but humans are coming to this planet, and I think that is going to just stoke the fires even more as far as this conflict goes. But you have all of these different robot designs. As I said, the art is really something. And this guy could draw the hell out of some robots. The story is weird. I would like to see where it goes. I think it's engaging, and I will probably grab more of this. If you are at all interested, ask for it. Poison Ivy, issue 12. Much like Batman, this is another one where I've been questioning for at least a few issues whether or not I should continue. And this one is great. Not just the art, which is incredible. I love this artist. But as far as what happens here, what is happening, what has been happening, you get a lot of trippy art in this. So Ivy spent the first arc expecting to die. She was driving from Gotham to the West Coast, infecting tons of people with these spores along the way. And she's had a change of heart. At the time, I was questioning whether or not they could really bring her back from where they had written her into, and I guess this is their attempt at doing that. It's curious to see, because those initial 6 issues were just hardcore one direction, very clear direction, and now they're trying to step that back, and it makes sense from a publishing standpoint, from a character standpoint. Corporate comics don't want to assassinate one of their characters, but it's weird to watch this sort of unfold in real time. I'm saying that it's good. I'm also saying I should maybe drop this. So, I don't know. If you're curious, give it a try for yourself. I Love the art. The writing is hit or miss depending on the issue. This one is well written. Peacemaker tries hard. From Kyle Starks. This is issue 1. And it's honestly not as good as I'd hoped. I mean, you get a very John Cena Peacemaker, and there are moments where he definitely exudes Cena, but I don't think this is very well written, which is disappointing given how much I have enjoyed some other recent Kyle Starks stuff. I didn't enjoy the serial killers living in a suburb. But I don't think I'm going to be continuing with this. It's pretty good, it's just not great. And I'm drawing the line. Lastly, I have issue 2 of Power Rangers Ninja Turtles. This is the second series. I grabbed the first issue off the rack last week just because I wasn't getting much, and this was there and I was curious. Turned out to really enjoy it, and so I grabbed issue 2. The story gets deeper. Some of the questions that I had at least have answers hinted at here. The art is still phenomenal. We get the answer that the Casey is a Pink Ranger because this is a Dimension X morpher, which is, I don't know, stuff like that I find interesting. We also have a chess match between Zordon and Splinter. I find this My Friend to be slightly weird, but otherwise, that's a great scene. It's just, it's well done. Here we have all of that going on. It's really good. And I have just enough knowledge of Power Rangers because my brother was watching it back in the 90s that this makes sense to me. What is she holding? She has a microphone? Everyone else is holding a weapon. That's a little weird. So that is everything that I got this week. It's very much a mixed bag. There were some surprises. There are some high points for sure. It's mildly disappointing. This is my pick of the week. It's just, I was about to say out of this world, but I don't know that I want to be that on point. Just 2 Kyle Starks issues, very different. I love this and was disappointed in this, and the rest, there were some good moments, but in a week where Northern Blood beats most of the big 2 stuff, I don't know. It's very strange. But fuck this place, definitely my pick of the week. I love this series. So that is everything that I got. Today is Free Comic Book Day, so I'm recording this on Saturday. I'm getting very little next week. I think there's only 3 books on my pull list. I think, depending on how much I grab from Free Comic Book Day, but I might just lump all of those books into next week's video, or it'll get a separate video. I don't know yet. That's future me's problem. But this place, issue 8, miles ahead of everything else in this stack. I hope somebody else is reading this. It's incredible. I was saying I get all of my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.